We have breaking news. As per Shams Charania, the Cleveland Cavaliers are signing former Milwaukee Bucks forward to a two-way contract to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, they are in a desperate need for players as they have been battling injuries and are coming off of another loss to a team that they are better than. Obviously, the Cavs had no Donovan Mitchell, no Jarrett Allen, no Max Strus, no Darius Garland. They're missing a lot of players, but they lost to the Raptors, and right after the loss to the Raptors, or right before the loss to the Raptors, I guess, they signed a player to a two-way contract trying to add some depth and maybe even get some G League help because this player is coming off of a phenomenal G League season. We're going to dive into the facts about this newly added forward and more about the Cavaliers here on Cavs Digest. I'm Matt Palange. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Happy post-Halloween. Before we get started, I just want to ask you guys, have you guys ever been interested in being a sports writer or a sports reporter? Well, if you have, you can start your career here at Digest Media. There are openings for Ohio teams such as the Reds, the Guardians, the Blue Jackets maybe. There's spots everywhere. Cavs Digest might be hiring. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if they are. But there's a lot of opening positions for Ohio teams. And if you're not an Ohio sports fan, if you have fans elsewhere, go ahead and go check it out because this is the place where you could be. We would love to have you join the Digest team. Just go to digestmedia.ca/join/us. So go ahead and check that out. There's also a link in the description, and you can jumpstart your sports writer or your sports content creator/reporter career here with the Digest team. So let's talk about the newly acquired player for the Cavaliers. Per Shams Charania, former Milwaukee Bucks forward Chris Livingston has agreed on a two-way NBA contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers, sources tell ESPN. The number 58th pick in the 2023 draft played 42 games over his first two seasons in Milwaukee. So 42 games in 2 seasons is not a lot, and this was a player that really, I actually showed his stats before I pulled this up, but I'm pulling them up again. This player didn't really do much in the NBA, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a depth pick. And this Chris Livingston has actually shown a lot of incredible glimpses in the G League. And I mean, like, incredible. He's coming off like a 17-point season, I think. He has been very, very good. We're going to dive into that. So I'm about to show you guys his highlights, but this is who the Cleveland Cavaliers have acquired. This is actually funny because this was a 2023 draft. Clutch Points made this graphic, and so they wanted them to draft Chris Livingston. I think it's out of Amani Bates, I think, or Travers. I don't remember. Yeah, 2023 would have been the 48th overall pick, I think, something like that. But they really wanted the Cavs to draft Chris Livingston, and they actually made this graphic for him. So shout out Clutch Points. They got what they wanted just a couple years later, right? So now let's dive into some Chris Livingston highlights. I'm going to talk over it, and you guys are going to watch just to kind of get a glimpse of his gameplay, and then we're going to dive into his G League stats after we watch his gameplay. So the biggest thing about Livingston's game is he is very, very physical. He loves using his body, and he loves slashing to the hoop. This is just a great play by him, just using his full body to get a steal and then making a good play in transition. Chris Livingston isn't the best shooter. I believe he shot 30% from 3 in his last G League season, but he can stretch out. He is willing to shoot the ball, and that's something that you can't get too mad about. I believe he also played. He's from Akron or played in Akron. I don't remember. So, he's from LeBron. I mean, you got familiar glimpses with LeBron James, right? But nonetheless, Chris Livingston has a lot of physical capabilities, which mainly is his slashing and his physicality on the defensive side. So that's the two things he's going to be best at is going to be defense and slashing. Those are going to be his two biggest strong points. So let's dive into his G League stats. So the 58th overall pick in the 2023 draft, Livingston spent his first 2 NBA seasons on a standard deal with Milwaukee, the team that drafted him. For Milwaukee, he 4.7 minutes per game across 42 total appearances over that span. Livingston, who turned 22 earlier this month, has showed some promise in the G League. 18 outings, 24-25. 18.1 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2.0 assists, 1.1 steals. This has been very, very, very impressive to see in the G League. So big shout out to this guy. And I think it's going to be a good pickup for the Cavaliers. Sorry, I just kind of talked too late. I was just struggling to read there. It's been long. But anyways, let's continue diving in and talking about Chris Livingston for these last 2 minutes. And then we're going to break down why he's important for the team. So the first biggest thing is that there's a couple reasons why Livingston is very, very important to the Cavs. It's mainly just for depth while there's injuries because Cleveland is battling them really, really badly. Like with Donovan Mitchell now, Jarrett Allen, who is also out, and then Strus. And also this bench sucks right now. Like the bench with the injuries is like when all the guys are healthy, the bench is going to be great because you're going to have Hunter off the bench or Strus off the bench. You're going to have Tyson off the bench, who's been really, really good this year. So you're going to have a really, really good bench guys because most of the bench guys are in the starting lineup right now. None of the bench guys can make a shot. They played terrible against Toronto. Jamison battle torched them, and they couldn't do anything. So I think adding Livingston it's just a two-way deal. So you're also getting a G League. Like if you want to look into this more information here, if you want to dive into the details of the signing, it's just a two-way contract. So G League. Main roster, he's going to get both. I don't expect him to play soon because if you didn't realize, even Naquan Tomlin didn't play against the Raptors, so I doubt we see Chris Livingston play. I think he's going to be primarily a G League guy, but he has a lot of the upside. As I showed you in the graphic with the stats, I'll pull it back up. I'll give you guys a chance at the bottom. It says, because I know I read this weird, 18.1 points, 8.2 rebounds, 2.0 assists, and 1.1 steals in 30 minutes per contest with a line of 48, 30, and 83. So, yeah, he was a very, very good statistical player in the G League. I was very, very, very happy with him, and we watched his game. I just showed you guys his highlights earlier. I'm very, very content with this signing by the Cavs. It just comes down to, is he going to play that much? As of right now, my guess is no, but I think they want somebody that can, be physical. I think this is really just a physicality signing because we talked about it after the loss to the Celtics. This team is paper thin. I raged about Jarrett Allen. I raged about how soft this team is, and they're yet again being soft for another season in a row. And I really, really can't deal with it anymore. So now for these last minute or so, let's just kind of talk about the game if you guys want. We kind of dove into Livingston. Good luck. Hopefully he plays well for the Cavaliers in the G League, and if not in the G League, on the main roster maybe. We'll see. But here is the box score for the Cavaliers game against the Raptors. They lost, I think, 111 to 102, I believe it was. 9-point loss, something like that. It was around there. I think that's the right score. Mobley played phenomenal. DeAndre Hunter played well. Jalen Tyson has been unbelievable these last two games. Shout out Jalen Tyson. That's the man. 50% again. 18 points. Great for him. Look at the bench, guys. Yeah. No, wait. I know I put it away. Once I pull up this graphic, please look at the bench. 4 on it, 2 for 7 for Tyrese Proctor. Craig Porter, 2 for 5, 5 points. Thomas Bryant, 4 points, 2 for 4. I actually wish he played more, to be honest, but he's a weird guy. But I do love that we have a backup center that's good. Travers, 0 for 5, 2 points. Larry Nance Jr., 0 for 6. I thought Nance looked really, really good for a majority of the season, at least the start of the season, or the first 3 games, I guess. Wow, he was bad yesterday. No, wait. Guys, Dean Wade. That guy better not sniff the starting lineup ever again. 1 for 7 is diabolical work, brother. That is abysmal. And then you got Lonzo Ball, who cannot score. Lonzo can't score anymore. This guy has not been able to score for the Cavs. Genuinely, that Ty Jerome loss, right as of this second, looks bad. I know he's hurt, but hypothetically, let's say he stays healthy. The loss looks bad now because they don't have a point guard that can score with Garland out. They don't have a point guard that can score. They're running Mitchell at the 1. And even Merrill's injury is playing a big factor too, don't get me wrong. But the Cavaliers desperately need some help, and that is why they signed the man Chris Livingston. Can he help the Cavs? I don't know. The team's obviously battling some injuries, but maybe they can bounce back and win some games with injuries. Who knows? We'll see. Good luck to the Cavaliers, and thank you guys for joining me here on Cavs Digest. I'm Matt Palange. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this video with your friends, and thank you guys for joining me here on Cavs Digest.